So being young like that, you worry about what people think, right? And you're insecure about certain things. So I can remember growing up in middle school when I first got the diagnosis. I used to have this telescope, maybe about that big, that I wore around my neck in a necklace, and I had to use it in order to take notes in class. It's kind of embarrassing, right? I used to actually have in seventh grade, I had a fanny pack before fanny packs were cool, right? And I had like different types of magnifiers in them, because I needed those utensils and those tools to help me out in school, But that's, again, people always asking what it is or making fun of it. It's a situation for a young male or young person, period, to deal with going through school, wanting to be cool and all those other types of things that everybody seems to want to do at some point in time. Those become a struggle when you have crazy looking glasses, or you are getting printouts of the PowerPoints that the teachers are using because you can't see it, or you're getting blown up versions of your test when everybody else is getting a normal test, So all those types of things came to play in school, right? But even outside of school, I can remember being 15 and the eye doctor saying that I may not be able to get my license. You tell a 15, 16-year-old that they may not be able to ever drive, that's crazy. That kind of blows you away. Even getting my license, I had to go through several different steps, going through finding a driving ed school that actually had a certified bioptic lens professor, or instructor. A bioptic lens is the glasses that I drive with. You've probably seen them in several other videos where they're regular glasses, but they have telescopes mounted onto them. So that's literally a tool that I have to use in order to be able to drive. Because with Stargardt's disease, I didn't mention this earlier, there's no cure. There's no corrective lenses. There's no prescription that you can get to fix it. I used to hate in school. People would always just say, well, why don't you just get glasses? Why don't you just get glasses? I used to hate that question, like with a passion. Like, I hated it. Because if I could just get glasses, don't you think we would have got glasses years ago? Like years ago, And that's what's in your mind. So, you interacting with people, right? Interacting with strangers that don't know about it. You have to get to a point where you understand that they're just curious. Now, some people are just buttholes. Let's just call it what it is. Some people are just buttholes and they want to purposely make fun and do these things like that. But a lot of people are just curious because it's strange to them, it's different to them, and they're asking questions. Now, you could have probably did a little thinking to see, why don't I just get glasses? Well, maybe he probably already thought about that solution as well, But anyway, my whole point is there's a lot of different adaptations and ups and downs that you have to do when you are born with it, and those changes start to come. Like I can't play baseball. I couldn't. Well, if I practiced at it, I probably would be actually okay at it. But that ball coming so fast, or tennis, those types of things mess with you. Depth perception messes with you more. My blind spots are bigger than most people's blind spots. So it's just a lot of different things that are impacted in your life. Going to a restaurant, being able to see the menu. I can't do that. Like, I can't go to McDonald's and just read what's up there. I can't. I've never been able to. That's why I just order the same stuff. Or if I'm with somebody, I ask them what it says. But who wants to always have to depend on somebody to read something for you? You know what I mean? Like that's not it messes with your independence, right? You also have to be dependent on certain things because you can't see what's going on. Driving even now, but as I was younger growing up, my nieces and nephews were the ones. They sit in the front seat and they're driving, and we're in the middle of conversation, and then they'll say, red light, and keep talking. Green light, it's red, and I'm like, thanks, and kind of keep moving, or people driving with you, and then you see things when you see things, and you're used to the way you drive. You might brake a little later, or maybe even a little harder sometimes, but people in the car, like pressing on the brakes. So, hey, did you see that? Or that's something else too. It's just so many different things that you guys don't think about unless it's you. And I brought this up in a conversation earlier about, like, if I was 4 foot tall. I'm six. I used to be 6'2". I'm 6'1" now. I don't know how that happened, but I'm getting older, so whatever. But if I was 4 foot tall and I lived the life of somebody that was 4 foot tall, that's a total different lifestyle than someone that's 6'1". You know what I mean? Like, imagine being a man, 41 years old, almost 41 years old this month, and I'm 4 foot versus being 6'1". You hear people say, like, the little man syndrome or whatever. I can see that. Like, your independence and your even like security, your manhood is kind of like challenged at 4 foot because you're not very intimidating. You don't look intimidating at 4 foot. Um, you know, like how are you going to protect yourself or protect your wife or your woman or whoever you're with or your kids? You're 4 foot. And again, I'm not knocking on anybody that's 4 foot, but I'm saying like that's a different perception than you might have if you were 6'1". Just because it's a theft deterrent, or it's a a what do you call it? You get into altercation, so it's an altercation deterrent if somebody is 6'1" and maybe 200 pounds versus being 4 foot and 200 pounds, or 4 foot and 120 pounds, 150 pounds. So my whole point is you don't think about those types of things if it's not you. And the same thing with Stargards. If you don't have this condition, you live life dealing with the things that you deal with, which is not the same things that we deal with. Imagine not being able to recognize your wife at a short distance, or in a room when you walk into a room, or at a restaurant. If she gets there first and you're coming in, you can't find her. They have to like flag you down, or call you and say, "Hey, I'm at the corner by this and this and that." That's something. Imagine you guys are going to go drive somewhere and you want to take her out on a date and you want to drive, but she's not really comfortable with you driving because it's like, you don't see very well. You know what I mean? Like that's something in itself, that a lot of people don't think about. So that's enough for that scenario. That's me starting from birth. But the positive thing is that I've been adapting and dealing with this thing all my life. So at this point in time, I'm pretty much good. I'm very, very functional. Do what needs to be done. I know different ways and little cheats or little tricks, little hacks to get through certain situations because I've been dealing with it my whole life. I even know how to communicate to people about it, right? And I know how to handle when people communicate to me about it because I've done it my whole life. When I was younger, I formed just like anger about it. And when people would ask certain things and say stupid stuff about it, I would flip out on them, or I would cuss them out, or I would respond negatively. But now I have a different perspective. So I move in a different kind of way when it comes to my eyes, right?